So good morning to each and everyone. My name is Amir Kalal. We discussing you about neuromuscular functions. So we discussing you about the importance of neuromuscular function that influence the human motion and movement, and enumerate the different neuromuscular function that affects the motions and movement of human. So we before to proceed the neuromuscular function, we discussing you step by step. So first we discussing you about the neuron. So what is neurons? So neurons is a receive and conduct impulse, allowing you to do things like breathing, talking, eating, walking, and thinking. So in a human body, in our life, we have 86 billions or more billions of neurons in our cell.
Good day everyone, my name is Jessa Dingkong, and today I will be discussing to you about a function of neurons. First, we have dendrites. Dendrites receive signals from the other cells. Second, we have cell body, organizes and keeps the cell functional. Cell membrane protects the cell. Nucleus controls the entire neuron. Then we have axon, transfers signals to other cells in organs. Axon hierarch generates impulse in the neuron. Then we have myelin sheath, increases the speed of the signal. The node of Rundberg allow diffusion of ions. Then Schwann cell produce the myelin sheath. Para mas lalo nyo pong maintindihan, meron po kaming ipapakitang video.
Cursor is represented in your brain. Your brain is composed of nearly 100 billion cells called neurons. Neurons come in many complex shapes, but generally they have a dendritic arbor, a cell body called a soma, and an axon. The neurons of your brain connect to form a large network through axon-dendrite junctions called synapses. At these connection points, neurons communicate with each other using chemical signals called neurotransmitters. Neurotransmitters are released from the end of an axon in response to an electrical spike called an action potential. When a cell receives enough of the right kind of neurotransmitter input, a chain reaction is triggered that causes an action potential to fire, and the neuron to in turn relay messages to its own downstream synapses. Action potentials produce an electric field that spreads from the neuron and can be detected by placing electrodes nearby, allowing recording of the information represented by a neuron. Information about everything from movement, to vision, to hearing, to hunger, to dreaming during sleep. Everything you can experience can be found by recording these electrical signals in different areas of the brain. Information about moving your
Neuromuscular function is the process which nerves and muscle works together to control the body's movement and function, involving the brain and the signal to the muscle, contract and relax.
The muscular, nervous, and skeletal systems interact to produce movement. Messages travel through the nervous system to the skeletal muscles that attach to bones throughout the body. The striated appearance of skeletal muscles is created by the arrangement of actin and myosin, or myofilaments, inside the cells that form muscle tissue. Motor neurons of the nervous system connect with these skeletal muscles. Movement occurs through a series of steps. Impulses from the nervous system reach the neuromuscular junction. The neuron releases a neurotransmitter called acetylcholine. It binds to receptors on the muscle and begins a chemical reaction within its fibers. The muscle filaments slide across each other and the muscle shortens or contracts. This action produces movement.
So we have different neuromuscular functions that affect the motions of the man. First, we have neural control, motor cortex function. The motor cortex initiates voluntary movement by sending signals down the spinal cord. Damage to this area can impair movement. The basal ganglia function modulates motor commands for movement initiation, smoothness, and posture. This function can lead to movement disorders. So that's the next neuromuscular functions that affects the motion of movement is the neuromuscular junction function. Synaptic transmission.
So, sensory feedback, it involves how our body senses movement and position through specialized receptors. So, the proprioception, these are the sensory receptors found in the muscles, tendons, and joints. They constantly send information to our brain about where our body parts are and how they're moving. So for example, when you close your eyes and touch your nose, so the proprioception helps you know where your hand is even without looking. Okay, so next one is the muscle spindles. So it detects changes in muscle length and trigger what's called the stretch reflex. It helps maintain muscle tone and preventing overstretching. So for example is the think about when a doctor taps your knee with a reflex hammer. So your leg kicks automatically because of your muscle spindles. Okay. So the next one is the Golgi tendons organs. So this muscle monitor the tension and protects muscles from too much force or strain. So for example, if you lift a weight that's too heavy, so these organs signal your muscles to relax to prevent injuries. So this sensory feedback helps us move accurately, react quickly, and avoid muscle damage. Next one, we have the neuromuscular control and stabilization. So it means this is the functions that ensures our muscles and joints work together smoothly to keep us stable and balanced during movement. So we have here a 2, which is the dynamic joint stability and maintenance. So the dynamic joint stability, it refers to the coordinated muscle activity that maintains joint position during motion. So for example, when you play basketball and suddenly change direction, so your body automatically activates muscles around your knees and ankles to keep your joints stable. Okay, so the balance maintenance, on the other hand, it involves the body's ability to stay upright and steady while moving or standing still. So for an example is when you walk on an uneven surface or stand on one foot, so your neuromuscular system adjusts muscle contractions to keep you balanced. Okay, so these mechanisms prevent injuries and allow us to move efficiently in different environments. Lastly, our final function is all about the functional conditioning, which means it is how our neuromuscular system adapts and improves through regular activity and training. Okay, so in this part, there have a 2 under of this, which is the adaptability and the motor programs. Okay, so the adaptability means is our body ability to adjust to physical demands during daily activities or exercise. For example, when someone starts lifting weights, over time their muscles and nervous system adapt. Okay, so they improving strength and coordination. Okay, so on the other hand, the motor programs, okay, so these are the patterns stored in the brain that help automate movements through repetition. Okay, so for example, think of learning to ride a bike or play the piano. Okay, so at first it's hard, but with practice, your brain creates motor programs that make the movements automatic and smooth. Okay, so again, the functional conditioning not only improves performance, okay, but also it helps in rehabilitation and injury prevention. The neuromuscular system is like a powerful communication network between the brain and muscles. Okay,